up YouTube? For tonight's video, we have a Legend of Spyro team. This one is for Patreon. If you want your theme team done, you can check it out in the description under the Patreon link. Jack, this one is for you. So we got 4 Pokemon that I had to use, and I had to pick 2 of the others below. So I came up with an incredible team and had some really cool battles. Now tonight will be a double upload. After this video, I've got one coming about 3 hours-ish afterwards. I thought I'd finish Sun and Moon off with 2 theme teams and kind of to spoil you guys too. Let's get into this one. Any feedback on the video and theme teams would be on for 2 people. So, we have a battle on my chat against Skylar. Now, we have a really scary lead, people, here. We have the Skitty. Now, I've got my Vibrava as the lead. Skitty normally carries Fake Out. I've got Focus Sash on my set, so I don't really want to burn that up. So, I'm going to swap into my Kingdra. Now, this Kingdra is a really funny set. It's got Octazooka to drop the opponent's accuracy. I've got Toxic on it. I've got Protect, and I've got Swagger. I've got Max Health and Split Defenses, Sniper Ability, and Bright Powder. So basically, I'm going to try and drop their accuracy as much as possible, and then get a Toxic up on them, then get a Swagger up on them, then just Protect, and basically be a general pain in the ass. So, Misdreavus is going to come in. This thing is normally very tanky with Everlight, so I'm going to get a Toxic on that, like, real quick. So, their team was actually a theme team too. You actually see it's like the numbers, like consecutive numbers. I've actually done a theme like this myself. Anyway, so Misdreavus is going to set up the Trick Room. That's going to allow it to be going first before my Kingdra. Now, I was thinking it could have Destiny Bond or something like that. That's an option too. However, it's going to go for a Charge Beam to try and boost its special attack, which also crits me. Now, Octazooka is going to hit this time, and I actually get a lot of damage to that one. I actually get a critical hit. Now, I don't have any, as I said, I don't have any special attack EVs, but the Sniper actually kind of helps out. So when it does crit, it gets a boost of extra damage. So Misdreavus is going to swap out, and now we have the Skitty coming back in. I went for the Octazooka, and this time it lands. It's going to do a fair lot of damage to Skitty, doing over half health, and I get an accuracy drop. I was like, this is going to be quite funny. If it goes for a normal type move and misses, I can go for another Octazooka and take it out for some extra salt. Anyway, so it's going to go for start. Unfortunately for me, it lands. I was hoping it would miss with that, with the Bright Powder and the accuracy drop from Octazooka, and I think I missed there with Octazooka, so that really sucks. Like, oh, instead of my move, like missing me, I actually missed them with Octazooka. Anyway, so I'm going to go for the Protect here to get a little bit of damage up on that Toxic Orb, on the Skitty. So next turn, Skitty's going to go down. However, my Kingdra is going to go down. The Trick Room also turns around too. Now it's going to have Sucker Punch. I wasn't sure if it had Sucker Punch or just have Facade. It gets a critical hit there, so Salt. And my Spyro is down. The Legend of Spyro, people, is over already. I think we're only like, what, 10 turns into the battle? Anyway, so Spyro gets beaten by Skitty, and I've got to swap something else in. I've got my Vibrava, so I thought I could swap that in again because I don't want to reveal any of my other Pokemon just yet. And now we have the Misdreavus coming in. So, I really can't touch this at all because my strategy is not very good against the Misdreavus. I will explain what that is as the video goes on. So now bringing in my Noivern here. Now this Noivern was a bulky set. It was a Super Fang, a utility user with a Toxic, Roost I've got on the EVs for it. I've got Max Health, Max Special Defense, and I've also got Steel Wing on it to get that, you know, that massive Steel Wing boost in defense, you know, that whole, like, 10% chance, and this, so I can actually hit some other Pokemon with, outside of Super Fang too, because as you know with Super Fang, you can just keep using it and it keeps halving in damage, but then you get to a point where it, like, does no damage, so that's kind of why I had that move on it too, plus to go for that, 10% gimmick boost. Anyway, so, there's not much Misdreavus can really do to me. As I said, I'm bulky in special defense. Its main stab is not going to be very effective against me. Unfortunately, I can't use anything like Super Fang, so I kind of just have to go for Steel Wing. It's going to go for Ominous Wind. It's trying to get that Scummy boost. I know what they're trying to do. I've done that one myself. Anyway, so I've got Leftovers, obviously, as the item on this one, too. Did I go over? Yeah, I went over what that Kingdra was already. The Kingdra... sorry, the Kingdra was max health, max speed, sorry. So I wanted to go first to get those, you know, the Octazooka off and the Toxic and the Swagger. So that was a max health, max speed. Just looking at the EVs on that. Yep, that was right. I don't know why I thought it was like a bulky one for. Anyways, so then again, it's fairly bulky. Like its base stats are fairly bulky too, which really helps. So the Misdreavus is on its last legs, even though it doesn't have any. And now it's going to go for the Pain Spirits. I was like, I know that it has some form of recovery. Now, I have Roost, as you know already, but I didn't really want to use Roost because if I kept like roosting off my health, the Misdreavus could just go for the Pain Spit again and be a a never-ending battle until the Toxics go out in the Misdreavus, and it'll be really, really long. Anyway, so Misdreavus is on its last little bit of health now. There's no point in using Pain Spit because it's not going to get enough back. It's probably better off going for an Ominous Wind against my Noivern. Alright, so finishing off with the Steel Wing. Nothing like finishing a Pokemon off with Steel Wing with 0 attack EVs. And Misdreavus is down. So, I've got a little bit of leftover recovery. I am in a position to go for Roost as well, or I could go for Super Fang on the next Pokemon. And the Trick Room does run out too. So now we have the Bibarel come out. Now, Bibarel can be quite a potent sweeper with Simple on Sword Dance and a lot of other things. So I thought, let's go for the Super Fang instead. Let's get some damage on this thing. However, it's going to be a special Bibarel going for the Ice Beam, and that's going to take me out there. So, nice. This person had some really interesting sets. I like them. So, Noivern is down. So, I thought, well, this would be like a good opportunity to send in Vibrava, or I might get free sacks on my Focus Sash. I'm not sure I really want to risk that. So, swapping in my Algae set here. This one is one of my very favorite. It's going to hit me with the Ice Beam. I've got a Citrus Berry, so I've got max health, max special attack. I've got adaptability. Now, what adaptability does, it powers up the same moves as your type. So, at the moment, I was poisoned. I've now swapped my typing to normal with camouflage. I've also got, and I've got Hyper Beam on this too, so I can get a stab Hyper Beam. It hits so hard with adaptability and just wrecks things. So I've got Sludge Wave and Focus Miss as the last two moves in case I don't want to, change my camouflage. I just want to attack with a stab Sludge Wave. But yeah, I love this set. It's so good. It hits really hard too. You could also, I was also even thinking of putting Silk Scarf on there instead of Citrus Berry for some extra damage. But going for the camouflage, it was handy to have a little bit more recovery to tank the first hit. Anyway, so now we have the Clank coming in with the Z move, going for the Z Metal Sound. That's so cool. I love Z Metal Sound. It's awesome. So what Z Metal Sound does is it does the normal effects of Metal Sound, dropping a special defense by 2, but giving the user a +1. So essentially in the matchup, you're at +3. So it's quite scary. Now it's going to go for the Flash Cannon, which is going to be way too much for my Pokemon to actually survive there. So that's 4 down. Sorry, 3 down. I've got to get back into this game. So now I'm swapping in Vibrava because I'm going to try and get that focus energy off with my Earthquake. So I'll tell you what this set was. It was a max speed, max attack set. I've got focus energy, Flail, Earthquake, and Endure. Now, I had Focus Sash on this set because sometimes there would be Stealth Rocks and traps on the field, or I take prior damage. That's why I kind of ran Endure as well. So that's how it worked. Anyway, so unfortunately, I didn't get the critical hit there on Porky Pig. It's going to get off the Will-O-Wisp and burn me. So, my attack is now halved. So I'm not going to do any damage. So really, you're really banking on those crits. Now, you possibly definitely could run Scope Lens to get the 100% crit. But then, you fail the risk of, it's harder to get the Flail working with Endure because sometimes it doesn't always work, and Focus Sash kind of guarantees that. Anyways, that's how it was. So going for the Earthquake again, and I don't get a crit, so 2 in a row is like, oh, damn it. So I've got a good chance to get a crit at the moment, but not a 100% chance. Anyway, so that's going to go to sleep, which is annoying, so it's going to be a classic Pimpnite Rest Sleep Talk set. And I've got to get crits. I estimated even with a burn, I could get about 2 crits, and that'd be enough to take it out. Anyways, there was no point using Flail. I had to go for the Earthquake. That was my really only option here. So going for the Earthquake on Emboard does some really good damage. I was like, oh, that's probably going to be a critical hit. So it's about a 3-hit KO with that burn, sadly. But I was like, even if I can get 2 crits in a row and then something can maybe come in and finish it off, that'd be awesome too. So it's going to go for a Sleep Talk and it's going to get Will-O-Wisp. So I was like, yes, perfect. I'm already burned. Now it's going to have leftovers too. So which is most definitely going to turn it into a 3-hit KO. So for me to take this thing out, I need 3 crits in a row, which will make it a 3-hit KO. If it's kind of going to be a 4-hit KO if I don't get crits. So going for another Earthquake on the Embor, and what do you know? I get another crit, so I only need 1 more to take it out. After the leftover recovery, though, that is not going to be enough to take it out. It has to be a crit. I have to get 3 crits in a row. And now it's going to go for Sleep Talk, and then it gets Heat Crash. I'm like, oh, well... Yep, I'm definitely not going to live that one, and Vibrava is going to live on 1 health. T-shirt's coming soon, but I've got the burn on me. Unfortunately, I wish I didn't have that burn. That would have been such a good moment because then I could have gone for Flail. Oh, I would have got that would have been more powerful than the Earthquake, or very very close to the same power. Anyway, so Vibrava is down. Now I'm going to swap in my Dramper. Now this was a physical Dramper. I love using this thing. It's so fun. I've got on it the Sap Sipper ability, so. what happens if I get, I can draw someone out with like a grass type move or swap into a spore, a leech seed, anything like that, which will boost my attack one stage. I've got Protect with Toxic Orb. I've got Facade, Play Rough, and Dragon Rush. So that worked pretty well because I got a Stab Facade, which hit really, really hard. Dragon Rush as well, and Play Rough for fighting type. So all round it worked really nicely, and I've got nice bulk too. Alright, so in we have a Voltorb here. Now I was like, wonder what Voltorb's going to do to me. So Voltorb really obviously can't do too much to me. It's going to go for the T-Bolt, not doing a lot of damage. I actually really like that team. There's a lot of Little Cup Pokemon in there as well. It was really cool. So going for the Facade, obviously it's got Focus Sash. Oh, that's that's how it is. Now I'd say here they're obviously just doing as much damage as possible, and then they're going to bring in their final Pokemon and start using Metal Sound and Flash Cannon. So I was like, I've got to take that. I actually really didn't have much for this Clang at the moment on my Dramper. Like, I had all the moves are not very effective against it. So I really just, I kind of had to pray for a critical hit or just get some kind of damage off it. Anyway, so I'm around half health on Dramper. The last Pokemon I have is a Clang. We seen this one earlier. It was the Z Metal Sound. However, they've already popped the Z move. Now I thought they could go for a Flash Cannon just to try and take me out. Let's go into Torterra and see if I can get something happening. This is my bulky Torterra. Unfortunately, they're going to go for the Metal Sound on the swap there. So it's like, bugger. I know that I can tank at least one hit, but I'm not going to tank it very well. So going for the Leech Seed here. This was really important to hit, and it missed. I'm like, no! Oh! So now it's going to go for the Flash Cannon, which is going to do 3/4 of my health. I was like, damn it, this is bad. And then they get a special defense drop. Oh boy, I'm definitely not going to live the next one. Not that I was anyway. So my choices here, I was quite choiceless. I had to swap out Torterra because that was my only ray of sunshine to beat this thing. So swapping in my Dramper again. Now the Clang's going to go for another Flash Cannon, obviously because I was at a -3 then, and Flash Cannon still does a lot of damage to my Dramper. Now, like I said, with that Leech Seed going up, I really needed that because that would have given me some extra health recovery and some more damage to the opposing Clang. Anyway, so I'm going to go down to the Flash Cannon. The last Pokemon I've got is the Torterra. Now, this is my bulky defensive Torterra. I've run this guy a lot of times. It's such a great set. We've got on this one, we've got Leech Seed, Protect, Sand Tomb, and my favorite healing move. Now, I'm going to go for Leech Seed. Fortunately, I outspeed this going for that. Now, it's going to either have to go for a Flash Cannon or another Metal Sound. It's going to go for a Metal Sound, which is going to drop my special defense by 2 stages. So that's fine, I guess. I really cannot afford to get hit by attack at this range of health, though. So I've got some leftovers recovery there as well. I've got Shell Armor on this as well as the ability. Shell Armor is a great ability for bulky, stally Pokemon. So I've got the Leech Seed up and I've got the leftovers. So that's giving me some nice health recovery. Now I've also got Protect as well. So I was thinking I can go for a Protect here, get some extra damage on Leech Seed and get some extra health back from leftovers and Leech Seed. And that should, that should be very, very close whether I can live the next attack or not. Now I've also got Sand Tomb for super effective damage, and that's also going to stack really nicely with Protect because that's going to hit twice as well as the Leech Seed, so it's going to do some really good damage. Unfortunately, as I said, I would have loved to get that Leech Seed up earlier. That would have saved me actually using Leech Seed and using Sand Tomb right away. Anyway, so going for Sand Tomb this time. Thank goodness it hits. It does some really good damage. I'm happy with that. And it's going to trap it in and do some nice damage to it. Now, it's going to go for the Flash Cannon against my Torterra. Fortunately, I just had enough recovery from that leftovers and Leech Seed for Torterra to live that -2 in special defense. It's not very bulky in special defense, so I was quite worried about that. Now, getting some extra health back from Leech Seed, and I've got that leftovers from Protect combo as well. So it was going to be whether it's going to be enough to actually take it out, and then if it didn't take it out, would the Sand Tomb miss and then it take me out with a Flash Cannon? This is what I was thinking at the moment. So going for Protect, this is the final turn. It's going to get, obviously it's going to Flash Cannon me, and I'm going to go for the Protect and get the leftovers and the Leech Seed. Mainly the leftovers, just doesn't really matter too much. It's the Leech Seed and the Sand Tomb damage on the Clang. So Leech Seed does about half. It's very, very close. I was like, I wonder if this is going to take it out. So getting some extra health back there and going for the Sand Tomb afterwards. I think that was probably the exact number to take it out. Damn, that Torterra came in clutch at the end. Thank you for the battle, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let's get on to the next battle. So this was a battle on my chat against DC King. Now we have the Bomber Snow Lead. Now this wasn't really a great matchup for my brother, which had Focus Sash. So I was thinking that it was also an Eyesight too, and I was guessing Flare wasn't going to do enough to take it out. So it really wasn't how I wanted to match up with Vibro, so I thought I've got to swap out. I'll probably send that one in later when there's no hail around on the field. So, going into my Kingdra, so I thought, I might as well get a Toxic on the thing, see if I can get some Octazooka scum to go. It's going to go be a physical set and go for the Avalanche. Now, Avalanche is a really powerful move, especially, obviously, when you go second and you take a hit too. It's very, very powerful. So, going for the Toxic this time, at least I can get that on there. Hoping, Bright Powder can do some scumminess with the Octazooka. Anyway, so Abomasnoid's going to go for Leech Seed, and it misses, which is really good. So I'd say my item did help a little bit there. Of course, it doesn't have 100% actually, but it would have helped in a little bit, I guess. So I've got the poison on Abomasnoid. Now I can either go for Swagger or Octazooka. I opted to go for Octazooka to try and get an accuracy drop, and I didn't get one, and Leech Seed is going to hit this turn. It's like, bugger, I really needed that one. That could have been like another Leech Seed miss. That would have been hilarious. Anyways, so I've got some extra damage from the hail. This thing is a little bit annoying, but I guess I got the good thing is I got the Toxic up on it. Kingdra was more of a trolley Pokemon. Like, I didn't really want to run like the Focus Energy crit set or the Dragon Dance set. Those are, I could use them with my eyes closed. They're not hard sets to use. So I wanted to run something a little bit different. So now we have the Abomasnoid swapping into the Gligar. I was like, damn, I went for Octazooka and it misses. Oh, damn, that would have done some really good damage. Imagine if it crit too, that would have been like a one-hit KO. So Gligar is lucky, misses that crit. Now, obviously, they swapped in because the Gligar has immunity. I know what they're doing there. But damn, swapping that Octazooka swap was very, very risky. So, even with like no special attack investment, I'm going to go for the Octazooka, and it still does like well over half, so... And with a hail, so damn, son. That could have been, that could have gone down. Anyway, so Gligar's going to go for the knockoff. They're going to dodge me because I got the... It would have been kind of funny, though, if they knock off my Bright Powder to see what item I had. Anyway, so that Leech Seed is still hanging around the field. Gligar's going to get some health recovery back. Now, it's going to be very close whether this takes it out, but the Gligar is actually going to swap out, and now we have not the Abomasnoid, we have the Gastrodon coming in, and Octazooka is going to miss. So, I guess that's alright. Now, the Leech Seed is going to sap some of my health away, and I'm going to live on 1 health. T-shirt's coming soon. Now, I can go for the Toxic here on the Gastrodon. Fortunately, I outspeed and take the Toxic on it. So that's really good. Gastrodon is a very, very bulky, stally Pokemon. So I was over the moon with that result. Like, I put a Toxic on the Abomasnoid, I dented the Gligar, and I put a Toxic on the Gastrodon. So that was pretty good. I was happy with that. I didn't get to fully use my Swagger and the Octazooka all at the same time, but it worked rather nicely. So now... This was a good opportunity to send in my Dragalge. Now, I want to go for the Camouflage. Now, this part was funny. So I went for the Camouflage, right? Which is going to change me into a normal type. So now the Gastrodon is going to go for the Toxic. So I actually used this team on stream. So I think they may have seen like what move I was running on my Pokemon. Because, I mean, you wouldn't use Toxic on this Pokemon ever, right? Unless you knew they were changing type. Unless they predicted a swap. Anyways, so I've got my normal typing. Here, I can go for the Hyper Beam. Now, Gastrodon's generally bulky in health and special defense, so I was like, this is going to come real close. Go for the Adaptability Hyper Beam, and that is enough to one-shot it, so I was very happy with that result. So that is down. It does carry Recover. It can carry Rest, too. Like, most of the time, it carries Recover. So, I've got the... I'm poisoned at the moment, which is quite ironic. So, now we have the Gligar coming in. Gligar could go for an Earthquake or a Knockoff. It actually opts to go for the Venoshock, which is hilarious. That's not going to do too much damage to me. It's got a very poor special. So I'm going to get a little bit of damage from the Venoshock and a little bit of damage from the Poison. Now I can go for Hyper Beam again. Gligar is actually going to land this one, knocking off my Berry, which was unfortunate because I was just about to activate it. However, the Hyper Beam is going to land, and there's no way this Gligar is going to be able to live this one. Firing my laser, and Gligar is down. So I've taken 2 victims of Hyper Beam. I couldn't ask for more for that one. Anyway, so I'm down to last bit of health. Obviously, I'm going to get Revenge killed. I'm on recharge. Now they're going to bring out a Hooper. This is a pretty funny set. So Hooper can use basically anything to, it can use any move to take me out. However, it's going to go for the light screen, so it's going to make it bulky. There's no point at attacking me. Like, if it has Magician, it's not going to take anything because it already actually knocked off my Citrus Berry from earlier. So that's down, but that's cool. It did a really nice job. So we've got to take out this. We've got to take out this Hooper unbound. So swapping in my Noivern. So I want to get a Toxic up on this. I got the feeling this could be a bulky set. I'm not sure. So going for the Toxic on Hooper. Now, this Hooper was, we've seen Light Screen so far, so I was thinking, what is this going to do? So it's going to be a physical set. It's a Scumbag Astonish set. Now, the idea with Astonish is to try and flinch the opponent. It's going to steal my leftovers with the Magician ability too. Kind of reminds me of the Hooper I used, I've used it a lot of times, like the Iron Ball Fling one with the Magician, and then just keep getting the items, so it's quite a fun set. Anyway, so it's going to go for Confide here, which is going to drop my stats. Now, as I said before, I've got a fixed damage move, which is Super Fang, so that's definitely going to counter this strategy. That was nice. Now I can continually go for the Steel Wing to finish this thing off, or I can just go for another Super Fang. It's already poisoned. I'm not sure if it's got rest or anything. So going for the Steel Wing anyway, hit Hooper right in the hole. I need one more attack to take this out. It's going to go for Astonish. Now, Astonish works, but you need to actually be faster so you can get that flinch chance, right? Even with no speed either at all, I was enough to actually outspeed it. And then again, it's not probably the most fastest Pokemon in the world either. So Hooper's going to go down the next attack to my Steel Wing. As I mentioned before, it's nothing like taking a Pokemon out with a non-stable Steel Wing. So the Hooper's down, but we've still got 3 Pokemon left. So we got that Abomasnow left, which I was thinking would come in soon, but it didn't. Now we have the Alolan Raticate coming in. So this caused quite a bit of fun for my team. So going for the Super Fang here, I thought that was a little bit more important than going for Toxic. Doing half health to Raticate, so that was cool. It's going to be a special set, going for the Ice Beam, and that does a lot of damage to me, and that almost takes me out. Here I was thinking I could go for Roost, or I could go for Steel Wing. Decided to go for Steel Wing for a bit of damage. It's going to have Sucker Punch, so that's going to be enough to take out my Noivern, but that's cool. Noivern did a really good job there. So swapping in my Vibrava. Now, I already know this thing has got Sucker Punch. I was like, this could be a really risky play, depending on what I want to do. So I went for the Focus Energy, because I want to get those crit ratios happening. Now, the Raticate is going to go for the Ice Beam. I was really worried about getting Freeze Axe here because on 1 health, that would really suck. Now, I knew there was a chance I could go for Sucker Punch the next turn or not go for Sucker Punch. I'd already showed this, I think I'd already showed this set off for like multiple times on my stream. So going for the Endure anyway, just to see what they're going to use, it's going to be a Dark Pulse. So it's obviously got all special moves and Sucker Punch for a little bit of priority. I decided to go for the Flail, but this turn it's going to go for Sucker Punch. So I didn't really expect to come out on that matchup, but it would have been nice to. So Vibrava is down. I've got 2 Pokemon left and they've got 3. So I've got my Drampa here. Now, this has got Play Rough. I've also got Protect on this thing. So going for Protect, I want to get that Toxic Orb happening. Now, we have the Abomasnow, which if it did have an Ice move, which I know is Avalanche, it would be going second. I do have Facade on that, so that's going to hit really hard. So that was what I was kind of thinking at this point in the game. Anyway, so Raticate's going to go for the Ice Beam, which is going to do a fair amount of damage to my Drampa. Drampa's fairly bulky. Then again, it's not coming from a huge special attack either. Going for the Play Rough, which is going to be enough to take out the Raticate. So the early damage from the Super Fang did help me out there. I don't think I would have actually taken it out in one shot. So we are on half health here, people. And the next Pokemon is the Shiinotic. So I was like, oh, Facade's probably going to be able to 2-hit KO on this thing. So it's going to use Strength Sap, and it's going to give me a Sap Zipper. Oh man, the salt is real, because that just gave me a +1 attack, and that's coming off of Facade, and Shiinotic just got sent to the sun then, and that is down. The last Pokemon is the Abomasnow, and it could, like that Shiinotic couldn't use Spore, it couldn't use Sap Zip. The only thing it could probably use is like a poison type move. Even then, I wasn't going to go down to it. Anyway, so Abomasnow is the last Pokemon. We already know that it's got Avalanche, so it's going to have to go for something like Ice Shard, which I was confident I could live. However, it doesn't seem to have that, and I'm going to go outspeed that and take it out with a Facade and a crit just to put some soul on the top. I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. Battle coming up about in a few hours. Peace.